Let me quickly talk to you about the top 5 rent to own cars for bad credit and no deposit. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. Today's conversation is very simple. I want to speak to you about the top 5 rent to own cars for poor credit and no deposit. What are we talking about? Very simple. You can rent to own furniture, appliances, electronics, you name it. But did you know that there are rent to own cars for bad credit? These deals are a bit different from your traditional car lease. So instead of focusing solely on brand new cars, a rent to own car dealer may have a wide constellation of vehicles on the lot that you can purchase with no credit and little money down. In some cases, they even offer no deposit. So just as with other rent to own items, your monthly payments will go toward the purchase price of the vehicle, and the vehicle is yours to keep free and clear once you have made your final payment. And one thing you need to understand here is that the rent to own car deals are specific to dealerships, to certain dealerships. So you can't just walk onto any car lot and rent any vehicle you choose. Instead, what you want to do is you will create an agreement with a specialty dealer to make minimum rental payments for a specific time. And after fulfilling the terms of the service, you will take possession of the vehicle permanently. Just remember, and this is a very important, the car is not yours until you make the final payment. And as with any rental, the seller can repossess the car if you are late or if you miss a payment. If that happens, you will lose any money you put into the vehicle and your rent to own agreement will end. So a rent to own car deal is just what it sounds like. In other words, that you basically pay a certain amount every month until you finish paying the full amount and the car is yours. And with a rent to own vehicle, you take possession of a car and make weekly or bi monthly payments for a predetermined period of time. So it is a little bit different from a normal leasing agreement. And one thing I want you to think about is that most rent to own vehicle dealers will now require a credit check for approval. That's because if you really think about it, you are technically renting the car until you make your last payment. So that makes it easier for the dealer to regain possession of the car if you miss a payment. So instead of a traditional credit check, you will sign a modified rental agreement that allows you to take over the ownership of the car after you make your final payment. And the number of payments and amounts you pay for each payments will vary based on the dealer and the cost of the vehicle you are renting to buy. So having said that, in our research, we have seen that even though dealers do not require a credit score, it just theoretically you need a minimum credit score of 500. And we've seen some dealers go as low as 450, so that's not a problem. And but in general, car dealers do not publicize their credit score requirements for auto loan approval. And this is because your credit score and credit history is only one facet of what's considered when you apply for a loan through a car dealership, bank, or credit union. And when preparing to apply for a loan for a car to a rent to own car loan, you want to consider a few things. So income requirements. You want to think about the value of the car, right? Because the higher the value, the higher the amount you have to pay on the rent to own agreement. You need to think about your payment history. You need to think about also the way to protect your assets, because think about it, an auto loan is a form of a secure loan, meaning that your new vehicle or used vehicle will be the collateral if you stop making payments. And how can you actually finance a car with no credit? There are a lot of ways. So besides a rent to own car agreement, you can also actually buy a regular car, a used car, a new car. And so the bottom line, the main question is a rent to own car a good idea? Now, a rent to own vehicle deal may be your best option, or potentially your only option if you have a very poor credit score and no down payment or trading vehicle to offer. But you can check, you can actually see if this is suitable for your situation, because at the end of the day, you are the only one who knows more about your financial situation, your employment prospects, and what really matters to you in terms of transportation. So what are the pros and cons of a rent to own car deal for bad credit? The pros: there is no credit check, there is no interest rate, so your weekly or bi-weekly payments cover the rental of the vehicle until you make your final payments. That means that you will not have to pay interest, since there is no money lending, there's no loan agreement going on. What about the cons? There is no warranty. It will not help you build credit, and this is not a great vehicle selection. In other words, the loan arrangement, this sort of rent to own car loan arrangement, does not offer a great constellation, a great array of vehicles. So don't even expect new or even newish vehicles. Rent to own vehicle lots usually have cars that dealers purchase from auctions that have been in accidents or have previous mechanical issues. So while these issues may be fixed before the sale, there is always a chance of future problems down the road. And car problems can get expensive, as you know, very quickly. All right, folks, let's get into the actual rankings here. When we talk about the top 5 rent-to-own cars for bad credit and no deposit, number 5, we have First Investors Financial Services. Our score, 8/10. This is a great lender when it comes to auto refinance loans for those with lower credit scores or collections on their credit reports. And this is a company that will finance, that will help you actually get the best rent-to-own cars for bad credit and no deposit. What are the pros and cons here? They will consider those with a lower credit score. They will offer a range of payment options, so they can actually accept if you want to pay. Let's say you want to make your payments for a rent-to-own car. Let's say a car agreement, you wanted to make a payment every month, twice a month, 3 times a month, or 4 times a month. First Investors Financial Services will work with you. They don't charge application or prepayment penalty fees. So those are for the pros. What about the cons? They only offer refinance loans directly to consumers, and they charge high interest rates. So what they do is that they will actually just finance your rent-to-own car. So you actually take the money. They will arrange for you to go to a car dealership and get the agreement signed. They will help you along the way, and you will be making the payments to First Investors Financial Services. And one thing you need to understand here is that First Investors they are, if you want to buy a car or you want to rent to own a car, are you looking for a car that is too new or too recent in terms of the model and the car make? This is not your best lender. You want to go for another lender, because they actually kind of specialize on cars that are kind of old. I would say 10 to 15 years old. And in terms of mileage, you're looking at least 75 to 100,000 on the odometer. Okay. And First Investors does not offer loans everywhere. They currently serve 37 states. And depending on your state, the loan arrangement amounts may range from 8,000 to 40,000. And vehicles that are being refinanced or loaned to cannot be older than 15 years, and they cannot have more than 150,000 miles. Okay, and the company does not refinance or does not work on rent-to-own cars for heavy equipment, motorhomes, RVs, motorcycles, or commercial vehicles. It's very important to know. Number 4, folks, we have Credit Acceptance Corporation. So when it comes to our score is 8.5/10. When it comes to the top 5 rent-to-own cars for bad credit and no deposit, Credit Acceptance Corporation is a great player here. And this lender is good for people who are unemployed. Okay, so they specialize in providing auto loans and rent-to-own car arrangements to people who have experienced financial challenges, including those who are receiving unemployment income. So if you are in that category, if you are currently on unemployment and you want to get a car, or you want to at least get into a rent-to-own car agreement, you might want to contact Credit Acceptance Corporation. And here are some additional details about Credit Acceptance Corporation loans. So they offer financing for new and used vehicles purchased at a participating dealership. And Credit Acceptance Corporation is an indirect lender that offers financing through participating dealerships. So while those dealerships are located in all 50 states, there is no guarantee that they will be near your home. And be aware that some of these dealerships are buy here, pay here dealers, and interest rates with these dealers can be high. On average, we've seen about 20%, sometimes 15%, but more 20%. Okay, and this is something you need to pay attention to. And Credit Acceptance Corporation considers applications from people who have an open bankruptcy on their credit report. So for them, it's not a problem. And what are the pros? And now the requirements here: you must be 18 years old. You must have a social security number to complete the loan application process at the dealership. You need to show proof of income. And in some cases, you might have a down payment. It depends. So the pros and cons here. Pros, they consider applicants with bad credit or no credit and a range of income. They report payments to all 3 credit bureaus, flexible payment plans with auto pay enrollments. The cons, the loan terms are determined by the dealer. The lender's network includes buy here, pay here dealerships, and you have limited loan options. One thing I want to say here is that generally a rent-to-own car arrangement does not report to credit bureaus, but in this case, Credit Acceptance Corporation has an arrangement in place where they will report your payments to all 3 credit bureaus. So this is pretty cool. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. We're also having a conversation about the top 5 rent-to-own cars for bad credit and no deposit. And number 3, we have Prestige Financial. Our score, 9/10. So this lender is great for people who have filed for bankruptcy. Okay, and the bankruptcies have a significant negative impact on your credit scores, which may affect your ability to qualify for an auto loan or a rent-to-own car arrangement. But Prestige Financial considers applications from people who have filed for bankruptcy. Just keep in mind that if you file for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, your bankruptcy documents must be available for review on the court website. And if you file for Chapter 13 bankruptcy, your repayment plan must be approved for your application to be considered. Okay, and so we have seen a few interesting items that you need to know about Prestige Financials. So they have an interest rate reduction program. So they offer an interest rate reduction program for qualified borrowers who make their payments on time. You may be able to reduce your rate by up to 0.5% every 3 months. This is pretty cool. Up to 2% per year, right? And it's worth noting that the lowest APR you can have in terms of this kind of a loan to rent to own car loan arrangement, the lowest you can have is 14%, which is still high, because if you think about it, we're talking here about a secured loan, a collateralized loan, so 14%. And Prestige Financial will accept joint applications. So if you apply with a co-borrower who has good credit, it may improve your chances of qualifying or help you get to a lower interest rate, because the co-borrower shares responsibility for making the monthly payment. And you need to note that Prestige Financial does not allow co-signers, which only have responsibility for the loan if you default. In terms of income requirements, you must earn at least $2,250 if you are submitting an individual application, and $2,750 if you are applying with a co-applicant. And Prestige Financial will not consider a self-employment income when determining your ability to repay your loan. Okay? Number 2, folks. When we have the top 5 rent-to-own cars for bad credit and no deposit, we have My Auto Loan. Our score, 9.5/10. So this is a great option if you want to shop around. If you're looking for a rent-to-own car arrangement and you want to shop around, My Auto Loan is a great place to be. And because the platform allows you to compare auto loan offers from multiple lenders so that you are able to get the lowest rate possible. And if you really think about it, My Auto Loan is just an online marketplace that matches people looking for auto financing with lenders in their network that meets their needs. So you can receive up to 4 loan offers in just a few minutes. So the loan types, you have new and used car loans, rent to own car loans for bad credit. They have lease buyout, and they have refinance loans. And lenders in the My Auto Loan network may consider people who have filed for bankruptcy as long as the bankruptcy has been discharged or dismissed. And in terms of eligibility, it really depends on the lender and the dealer. But in general, you'll need to be at least 18 years old or 19 years old in Alabama and Alaska. You need to have a FICO score of at least 575 and a minimum income of 21,000 to qualify for a loan. And they also have they have, if you go to myautoloan.com, they have an interest rate calculator. And that's a great tool because it lets you see your estimated rate based on loan type, loan amount, and your credit scores. What are the pros and cons here? The pros, they have competitive interest rates. Of course, this is a loan marketplace, so this is pretty cool. They have a fast application process, and FICO scores of a 575 or above are considered. The cons, there are vehicle restrictions. The loans are not available for residents of Alaska and Hawaii. And they want you to have an $8,000 minimum loan amount for new cars. And so this is one thing you need to really understand. Now, another thing that I need to mention before moving on to the next one is that my auto loan's car loan offerings include new, used car, lease buyout, but they also have something called private party loans. And those are also interesting in terms of a rent to own cars for bad credit and especially no deposit. Number one, folks, number one, the best in our view when it comes to the top 5 rent to own cars for bad credit and no deposit, we have Auto Credit Express. Our score 10 over 10. On this platform, because this is not a direct lender, this is a loan marketplace, but you're able to access lenders who specialize in bad credit and borrowers with collections on their credit reports. What are the pros here? They are willing to work with people with lower credit scores. They may have low down payments requirements or even no down payment requirements, minimal qualification requirements. What about the cons? The loan rates and terms vary depending on the lender. You must work with a dealer in the Auto Credit Express dealership network, and you may end up with a high interest rate. Well, this comes with the territory, in our view. And you'll have a range of loan options besides the rent-to-own car loan. You also have new car purchases, used car purchases, and car loan refinancing. So they have traditional and cash-out refinancing. And one thing I really want to tell you here is that if you're looking for a rent-to-own car agreement for bad credit and no deposit, Auto Credit Express, ACE for short, is a great place to be. Why? Because they work with more than 1,100 dealers, and so it's kind of impossible to say for sure that you're not going to find an auto loan. You will find. The choice is so vast. There is such a wide area of lenders and car dealerships that you will find something. That's for sure. And in terms of requirements, though, you need to be at least 18 years old and 19 years in Alaska and Alabama. You need to have a monthly income of at least $1,500 and be a resident of the United States or Canada, of course. And you need to have a full-time job or some other form of fixed income so that you are able to increase your odds for approval. And in terms of credit score, they haven't actually specified a minimum credit score, but we know based on our research that people who have at least a credit score of 525 can qualify for a rent-to-own car loan for bad credit with Auto Credit Express. And what else do we need to see here? One thing you need to know here is that your dealership options will be limited because with a loan through the Auto Credit Express network, you have to only choose your car from their dealerships. Okay, and this could be a little limited, but that's the way things work there. All right, folks. This is it for today's conversation. This was a quickie about the top 5 rent-to-own cars for bad credit and no deposit. Number 1, Auto Credit Express. Our score 10 over 10. Number 2, My Auto Loan 9.5 over 10. Number 3, Prestige Financial 9 over 10. Number 4, Credit Acceptance Corporation, 8.5 over 10. Number 5, First Investors Financial Services, 8 over 10. Thank you so much for your attention. Really appreciate it. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.